Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody that's tuning in live. And if you are watching a replay of this, good to see you. Hey, everybody. Ooh, look at my finance friends hopping on. Hey, y'all. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tremaine Wills. I am a financial planner and investment advisor. I own a company called Mind Over Money. We are on a mission to help 1 million households grow their invested assets to $1 million or more. We do that through creating comprehensive financial plans, giving investment advice, and teaching and promoting financial literacy, doing things like this. So you are tuning into questions that need answers, where I answer a question related to personal finance. And so today the question is, what are sinking funds? And so I'm going to explain what it is, talk about why it's important, how it can benefit you on your journey to improving your finances. But I always like to ask, where are we tuning in from, right? I like to see where the message is reaching, and like see who is the furthest away. My company is based in Virginia in the US. And so we serve clients in the United States, but I know that sometimes the education and the content reaches um, across borders, right? So let me know in the comments where you are watching from. And if you are watching the replay, do the same thing, right? Because we can always go back and see those comments to see where folks are tuning in from. Okay, so I got somebody that's here in Virginia with me. That's awesome. We always like to see hometown folks tuning in and getting to see the message. Where else are we from? Blessings and good morning from the District of Columbia. Thanks for tuning in. I had the pleasure to go up to Richmond yesterday to do a talk for a wonderful group of women. And I was just talking about like the importance of managing your assets, but connecting them to this deeper vision of what you want to achieve. And so that was amazing, right? But yeah, so great. Before I forget, I always like to make sure that you have a resource to take action on what you learned today. So if you are tuning in, you need a resource to help you create your sinking fund strategy to make sure that you are executing on what you learn and not just consuming information, you can text Get Budget to 757-300-5715. And if you're watching this on Instagram, you can just DM or comment Get Budget, and you'll get that link so that you can get the template and the video guide to help you use it. All right, so let's get to it. What are sinking funds? What are sinking funds? So sinking funds are a way that help us accumulate money over time so that when it's time to pay a larger bill, the funds are available, right? And so you might do this when you are trying to save for a vacation, or if you know that the holiday season is upon us. Throughout the year, you might set money aside every month so that when it's holiday time, you have money to put towards the gifts that you're trying to use. The reason why this is beneficial is because what it does is it allows us to regulate our budget so that when the large bill comes, it doesn't feel like such a sticker shock and knock us out of our mode of managing our money efficiently. And so, what I want to encourage you to do is if you find yourself repeatedly, right, being surprised by, oh snap, this large bill is due again, right? Like, oh my goodness, I got to pay these annual expenses or anything like that comes up, I would encourage you to try using sinking funds in your budget. So think about like things that are recurring, things that happen every year or every quarter that you have to pay for, and setting aside a fraction of that money every single month so that it's available when it's time to use it. So some examples that you could use it for: vacation, right? A lot of us want to go on vacation every single year, maybe multiple times a year. But it's such a larger expense, it might be in our best benefit to save for it throughout the year, right? So that's one reason you can use sinking funds. You might want to use sinking funds for paying property taxes, right? This depending on how much your property taxes are, right? Some people, it may not be that expensive, but if you own real estate and more expensive cars, depending on if your state has property taxes, you might want to set aside money every month to pay those property taxes. Well, we can consider our emergency fund a sinking fund because when emergencies come, you are using it again, but setting money aside for emergencies. Good morning. Gifts. So if you are somebody that likes to give gifts for birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, graduations, all of the different things that happen every single year, you might want to set aside sinking funds for those. Insurance. Now, this is the one I really want to encourage people to do because our insurance can be set up to be paid monthly, quarterly, annually, right? But more often than not, when you set it up to be paid annually, you get a discount. So, what you can do is instead of every single month paying the insurance company, you set the money aside in a savings account. And then when it's time to make the annual premium, you pay all at once. So, you get the same satisfaction of breaking it down to fit into your budget, but you also get the discount for paying annually. And so you can think about this with lots of different things, especially for folks who are my business owners. You'll see the notices on different services where you can save 10% by paying annually, or save 20, 25, 40% paying annually, right? And so once you sign up that first time and pay that annual fee, set the money aside every month so that when it's time to renew again, it's there and you almost get that same satisfaction of this is a monthly expense. All right. So sinking funds can be a great way to modulate and regulate your budget so that it doesn't feel so disruptive when it's time to pay those annual expenses. All right. So if you're not already using sinking funds, highly encourage you to start to build that into your budget. So that way, when it's time to pay that annual or quarterly or biannual bill, it doesn't feel like such a sting. And you don't feel like, man, I got to figure out where this money is going to come from out of my budget. All right. So I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed this, I encourage you to share it with your network, send it to somebody in a DM. If you want to be online and tuned in when I go live to teach the next question, make sure you are following and have those notifications turned on. If you have questions that you'd like answered, you can send me a DM and I'll feature it in one of the sessions where I talk about answering these questions live. All right. So this happens 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. And so I'd love to see you tomorrow tuning in, right? All right. Have a great day, everybody.